Hello, friends. Welcome back to Love Wrestling. Spencer Love here with another great Canadian talent and the first ever NEW champion. I almost wanted to call you the new champion, but I feel like redundancy is redundant on that. And either way, Golden Boy Travis Williams joining me, man. I'm excited as heck to have you on here because we've chatted a bit online. I'd consider ourselves friends at this point. I've loved your wrestling over the last few years, but it's the first chance we've had to chat face to face, man. So how are you doing? How's life on top, champ?
Hey man, hell of an introduction. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and I'm doing good, man. It's been good. Like since wrestling came back, it feels like I finally got that thing I was missing back, you know? So it
Awesome,
feels
man.
great, man.
Good to hear. Is it weird to you to hear the first ever champion of a promotion, or how does that feel for you? Because you've carried titles elsewhere, but these were promotions, whether you're looking at 365 or otherwise, that had been around for a while, that had really sort of established themselves in the Canadian wrestling scene. And you look at what NEW is doing, and as a first time promotion, as a first heavyweight champion, you're the guy. Do you take a lot of pride in that? Like I said, is it maybe a little bit weird for you right off the bat, or what are your sort of feelings as the first
Uh,
NEW champion?
it's an honor, dude, and I'm proud to represent a company that is like doing so many amazing things at once and is setting a new standard, a new industry standard for, independent professional wrestling in BC. And it's just great to wave that flag, and it feels amazing. And I just hope we keep going further and further. And this is literally like just the beginning. So
Yeah,
to make this much stride so far, and we just started, like it just feels great. And I've never been more ready, I feel like.
I love hearing that, man, because again, as an outside guy, you look at the work they're doing and the people they're bringing in. Taya Valkyrie's first independent outside of the AAA spot, I know, but her first independent real booking coming up in the near future as well. So, what's it been like to work for them as the guy on the inside and really be one of the forefronts of the momentum they're building?
Yeah, it's so amazing the people they're bringing in, and like to get already like amazing opportunities like Josh Alexander, to learn so much from him and also get my ass kicked at the same time. It was a pleasure, man. It was straight up pleasure. So to see what they're doing and bringing all the Canadians like Mike Bailey, they brought in, and now they're bringing in Ty Valkyrie. It's like it's so cool to see, and there's so much for us like as a group to learn from all these people and all these names coming in.
That's what I was going to ask too. Is a guy like Josh Alexander, you really look at as one of the standards in Canadian pro wrestling. And like, it ain't like you're training with schlubs at the Lions Gate Dojo, right? Like I say the same thing about Artie and Nicole and the individuals there too. But what was the experience like working with him? And maybe how did it differ from working with guys like, again, Artie, Nicole, Baroni, and people you've worked with pretty consistently before?
Right. It's always different working with someone who you don't like talk to on a constant basis, right? Because I see everyone at the Lionsgate Dojo, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. So to meet someone for this first time was, it's different. And then, but he's just a great dude overall, just a fantastic guy, and that's no surprise. And
Yeah.
like you said, like he's just a Canadian who's literally paved the way, right? He's been around for so long, and he's just kept grinding, kept grinding, kept grinding. And he's, I think, a role model for a lot of us guys too, to look up to. And he's made it to the top.
Absolutely. Do you maybe have a preference? Like, again, I've never wrestled, so if I'm completely out to lunch, man, feel free to tell me. But is there a bit of a difference in working, like you say, with someone you've worked with a lot before versus someone you never have? How much maybe more planning goes into it, or what's the difference in experience there, like as a pro wrestler?
Sometimes I think it's harder wrestling someone you've already wrestled before, right? Because then
Really?
there's more to do. You've done that, you've done this. What can we do next? And then other times, it just flows, just beat for beat almost. So there's no real thinking. You just go out there and do your thing. But with someone like Josh, obviously it's so easy, as he's just so professional at what
Mhm.
he does. But then you meet someone new and you just immediately click with that person sometimes, and then it's super easy from there on, and you have a great time. So it really depends. But I always like wrestling new people and getting new opportunities, because I think that's how I learn, and that's how I improve as a professional wrestler.
Absolutely, man. And especially with the tournament that you guys put on at the last show for NEW, you're working with wildly different pro wrestlers again, too, right? Like Adam Ryder, Icarus, Beef Boy, Sebastian Wolf. How much of a strain is that? And again, that's not meant in a negative way, but like you're wrestling 4 matches as part of a heavyweight championship tournament. You're planning out 4 different matches with 4 very different pro wrestlers. So how do you
Right.
get through that, for lack of a better way to put it?
Dude, I was so excited to finally wrestle Adam Ryder because he's someone I've seen just absolutely murdering it here, like in a good way, obviously, just killing it, just doing so well, and his skill level is absolutely ridiculous, and it's cool to see him reaching out. And now he's doing SOS, I believe,
Cool.
in Washington. So like, yeah, I was so excited to wrestle him, man, and he's amazing. And Wolf is somebody that I've been training with since he started. So
Mhm.
I was so stoked for that match, and I think it went well. Besides, the big gash in his head.
I was gonna say we
Uh,
all saw the photo.
yeah. But that's a tough son of a bitch, dude. He wrestled the next 2 nights too. We went on a trip to the island, and he wrestled 2 nights after that with a big gash in his forehead, dude. So he's a tough guy. But I mean, as far as like wrestling back to back, it's definitely exhausting. 3 matches was tiring, but I wouldn't want to do anything else, man. I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's just such a blast. And to go out there, usually you go wrestle, you come back, it's over. You have all those emotions. You come back and there's 2 more times to go out there and impress. So it's exciting. It's exciting as it is exhausting, but I would do it again in a heartbeat.
You break the pin, bell rings, you're awarded the championship. What's the first thing that goes through your mind?
Where's Tony and Suede and and
All
Fergie?
right. That's
Yeah,
that's a good thing to think, though, man, because right there, they're right behind you.
exactly. And I think second thought would be, let's get some goddamn food. Let's get some goddamn food.
It ain't holy shit. It's where are my friends? Let's grab a bite.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's it mean to you to work with guys like that, right? You've talked in other interviews before about individual relationships, excuse me, with them, but working as the Wiseman and having them as part of NEW and having them have your back throughout a good part of your career, if not all of it to this point, Trav, what's it mean to you that they were a part of that?
Yeah, so grateful, so freaking grateful, man. Like they've taught me so much, if not almost everything I know. And just to have those people that can kind of guide the way, because it's obviously terrifying, when you first get into the business. You're a lost soul almost. So to have
Yeah.
someone who says like, here, come with me, I'll show you the ropes, I'll show you the way, and great people at that. It was like so grateful, and I don't know, I try to let them know as much as I can, but I've loved like everything they've done for me, man. It means the world. So I love those guys, and I mean, they're my father figures of professional wrestling.
And obviously, like they're incredibly well respected, not just throughout BC, but throughout Canada for what they've done. But, you're one of the few guys that they've gone out of their way, and rightfully so, to really get behind and really push forward with. What do you think they saw in you that made them want to work with you right off the bat?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Um,
I
I
appreciate the
think,
honesty.
yeah, I mean, like when there was a new group of us, and then there was 4 of us. There was me, Eric Strange, Sharif Morrow, and Jackie Lee were the new 4 trainees. And then
Mhm.
I was really the only one working heel at the time. So I think Tony saw that as a good opportunity to get a new member in the group. And we all worked so hard, all 4 of us too. We busted our ass to, be able to perform well, and get onto a card and impress on that card. So it was just, I guess, luck of the draw. I mean, Jackie and Sharif formed an amazing tag team that they're still killing it to this day. Eric is back wrestling he's wrestling in Hungary right now, so that's amazing.
Whoa,
But yeah,
cool.
yeah, super cool, man. So I think it was just the right timing, and I'm so glad, I'm so grateful that he brought me into the Wiseman.
Now, obviously, you haven't been out to Hungary yet, or at least the cage match isn't lying to me. You haven't been, but you've traveled quite a bit. You've had the opportunity to get down to Defy and work for again a lot of the major promotions throughout Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. In your couple of years or your few years as a pro wrestler, maybe where have you seen the changes and where have you maybe seen the growth in the PNW?
Yeah, obviously, Washington and Seattle, huge. It seems like. I mean, just working down there, any chance that I could get is always so cool. And then Oregon, of course, is amazing. And like with New just showing up and blowing everyone out of the water is something very exciting. And especially with Lionsgate Dojo in Vancouver, which is a fairly new like training group. You know, everyone's been training together, but it's officially, the Lionsgate Dojo pretty recently. So
Mm-hmm.
that is just so amazing that we have that we get to go there. You know, I'm going after this, right? So like it's and 7 days a week. I don't think there's many training schools that offer that the
No.
7 days a week experience. And there's beginners and there's intermediate and there's advanced. So there's just so many things to learn from so many different people. And it's always a blast, and it's literally a family. So
Yeah.
it's amazing, man.
Now, you look at names like Swade and Baroni and Nicole Matthews and Artemis Spencer, and of course, their accomplishments speak for themselves. But there are a lot of great pro wrestlers out there that maybe aren't great pro wrestling trainers. The best comparison I have, like Wayne Gretzky, is the best hockey player of all time, but that guy couldn't coach worth anything, right? So, what do you maybe think makes the four of them, whether as a collective or individually, what do you think makes them great trainers outside of just being great pro wrestlers?
Well, I think they're all great people for starters, and I think they all offer something different
Mm-hmm.
from one another. So that makes a great trainer when you can go to a Monday class and learn from Billy Swade the basics at its absolute best, and then you can go to a Thursday class with Artemis Spencer and you're doing Hurricane Ranas and crazy shit like that, right? So it just is such a variety of training, and
Mm-hmm.
guys who have kind of been around and done it all, so to speak, right? Especially Nicole and Tony Baroni, all of them have just done so much, and now that they get a share of it, I think that's what makes a good trainer.
Is there anything you're particularly working on right now? Because, you're a very well-rounded professional wrestler. Like you mentioned, going to all those classes, you have a wide variety already in what you're doing inside the ring. But maybe where do you see an opportunity for you, or what are you maybe working on right now?
Well, I want to get my mat game up for sure. That's something I want to improve on, and also I just want to get my ability as my strength as a wrestler as a whole, like just everything. Just want to just get it better. I think I can improve on literally everything, and that's the great thing about the Lionsgate Dojo too, is that everyone is constantly working at something.
Mhm.
There's no, you know, just there's no laziness, and there's no just quitting or like, oh, I don't have to train anymore. I'm a wrestler now. Like literally, the saying for Lionsgate Dojo is training does never ends.
Mhm.
So the fact that people are wrestling, been wrestling for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and they're still there on a weekly basis, daily sometimes, putting in that work is like so amazing, and it just inspires everyone else. So I think I can improve on literally everything, and I'm gonna keep trying to do that. Yeah.
I feel like that mentality, though, like is probably one of the major reasons you've been so successful at your relatively young age and your relatively short amount of time in comparison. Like you're looking at an industry with 30-year veterans that are still taking bumps regularly. So maybe do you feel that's why you've been able to succeed, or what do you feel is maybe the X factor for Golden Boy Travis Williams?
Well, I think that mentality is everywhere in the Lionsgate Dojo. So I think yeah, it definitely helps, but it's not like I'm the only one who has that, right? I think there's so many guys that are coming up, especially like Coco and Shug, the Illa tribe, who they have that mentality. I could name so many people, Miles, Wolf, SOE, like just everyone that is just grinding and has that mentality of, it's not, oh, I got to keep getting better, I got to keep improving, and they are, and it's just proof. So I think, I'm grateful for what I've done and what I've accomplished so far. But I think every single person with the Lionsgate Dojo and in the Pacific Northwest can just, I think everyone's going to accomplish big things because no one wants to stop anytime soon, Everyone's hungry. And I think that's what makes a great wrestler.
Fuck yeah, man. Like to quote Charlotte, iron sharpens iron, right? And it's very, very
Hell
cool.
yeah.
You see that development. You see, especially, I brought up new a couple of times, but 365, Rickshaw, Cobra Kai, what you guys are all doing out there is pretty, pretty incredible. But what do you maybe feel are the next steps? You know, it's a good foundation for the end of 2021, the start of 2022. What do you maybe feel are the next steps for whether it's NEW or the Pacific Northwest as a whole to maybe take a next step, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, next year?
Right. I think just get BC wrestling as a whole more available for everyone on whatever platform it is, whether it's IWTV or it's a whole new platform or it's YouTube, news putting out free shows,
Mm-hmm.
which is absolutely incredible. So just a broader audience, I think is just going to help everybody here. And as far as, I think it just keeps expanding, like 365, they're killing it. They're doing shows in Victoria now that are like some of the best environments, like in the best shows that I've ever like been a part of. Like it's just the
Awesome.
environment is insane. Sorry, my cat is it's coming at me. And it's some of yeah, it's like the best atmosphere, and it's just in Victoria. So like if someone wants to hears about that and here's how amazing it is. Maybe they'll come to Vancouver, they'll catch that ferry, and they'll go see these shows. Like PWG was doing all these amazing things in this little, extremely hot, I've heard, building. So I think if we can just get the word out and people know how amazing these shows are and how amazing the talent is, and it just gets a buzz, I think it's going to benefit everyone, and that goes with Canada as well too.
Absolutely. So we need to get out there a little bit more and make sure our buildings are air conditioned. I got that one
Absolutely.
110%.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to keep it specific to BC because there are obviously a lot of individuals, even speaking for myself, that I'd want to see you wrestle. But maybe let's pick one of those newer guys that you were bringing up, and let's pick one of the veterans of the scene that maybe you would want to defend your title against or take on for the first time. I don't like the phrase dream match, but you can tell I'm trying to dance around it as much as I can.
I get what you're going for. I get what you're going for. All right. Evan Rivers is one of the newer guys I want to work. He's insanely talented, man. I mean, just go look at that guy's like his work ethic, and then go look at how good he is. Go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter. I don't have his handle on me, unfortunately, but search him out.
We'll put it in the description. Don't worry, I got your back there.
Perfect, perfect. Check him out. He's so amazing, and he's got a great story, man. But he's definitely one of the newer guys I'd love to work. And for veterans that I haven't, Santiago is somebody in the Pacific Northwest that I'd love to get in the ring with. I've wrestled a lot of people, fortunately. I mean, I've never wrestled Billy Swade and Tony Baroni. So, one day, but I'd love to get back in the ring with Nicole Matthews as well, too, and Artemis Spencer, obviously. So,
Awesome,
top of
man.
my head.
Well, and I have to ask too, because I said again, I'm going to try and dance around the exact phrase of dream matches, but what in particular is it that you love about Jeff Cobb? Because man, I love the dude, but he's not really someone that maybe comes up as the first guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah. So I've thrown his name out a lot. I don't know what it is, man. I just have always wanted to wrestle him. And I think I was a fan even before I even started, right? So I think just the idea of getting to wrestle someone that I watched frequently and kind of, was a fanboy, for a lack of a better term, over. I think that would be amazing. And, I think I'm pretty good at getting tossed around. So I would love to do that, man. It's definitely one of, if not my biggest dream match.
I love it, man. I'm going to close her out here with a couple of fan questions because honestly, usually they're some of my favorites. I do have one from Zach Ralph of Love Wrestling. What do you feel has allowed NEW to differentiate from some of the other promotions in the Pacific Northwest thus far?
I think it's the Lionsgate Dojo. I think it's that family. I think it's that locker room. I think it's everyone busting their ass, and like we talked about, that mentality. I think that's what keeps us apart from other promotions. And every single show you get, it's going to be a good one, because no one's letting anyone else, go out there and half-ass it, because everyone's putting in the work. So if you want to be on the show, you better put in the work.
You're going to stick out like a real sore thumb if you're the one not putting an effort in on those, because like you say, going through the YouTube channel and watching every match you guys have put up there thus far, it's just holy shit. What else can you say about it, right? The other one I've got here will remain anonymous. What's with the photo with the bucket hat?
Anton, you son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. He cornered me, man. He cornered me. He put a bucket hat on me, and you know the rest is history, dude.
You were very evidently thrilled about it.
Exactly. I love that guy, man. He's so cool. I just got to meet him for the first time pretty recently, so I'd love to work with him as well. But yeah, he's such a funny dude. But yeah.
It's almost like you get the double laugh about it, because I saw yours, and then of course I go to follow him on Twitter, and like it's pretty well entirely like a feed of this pink bucket hat. So we got to get him and the hat on the show here sooner rather than later. And Trav, we got to get you back here. We got to get you in Alberta sooner rather than later, because you're not only a hell of an individual from the time we've chatted, but let's get real, you're a hell of a professional wrestler. You are the new NEW champion for a reason, and someone I can't wait to chat with again, man. Thank you for coming on. And if people want to keep up to the latest and greatest with not just yourself, but of course the Pacific Northwest, where can they do so?
Thanks for having me, man. And everywhere at Pro T Williams, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's where I post all my stuff. Once again, appreciate you having me on, dude.
I appreciate you taking the time for me, man. Let me tell you, in the nicest way possible to myself, any professional wrestler hopping on my show is doing me the favor. So I appreciate you letting me doing the job for you today, brother. I suppose they say on the inside, right? I'm not cool,
they say brother.
I'm faking it. I'm faking it, but I try my best and have fun. It's been a blast, man. Thank you again. Can't wait to have you back out here in Alberta. And friends, I can't wait for you to tune into the latest that we've got coming up on Love Wrestling. There's lots of great content, and not just from myself. You've got a lot of great previews, reviews, breaking news, and interviews from the Canadian professional wrestling scene, and from the most positive aspects of the Canadian professional wrestling scene. There's no need to focus on the negatives. Come have fun with us wherever videos are played or audio is listened to at Love Wrestling CA. If you want it in one fell swoop, you can find it at lovewrestling.ca. For Golden Boy Travis Williams, your NEW champ, I've been Spencer Love. Thanks for tuning in.